Hello viewers, you're watching India Today Global with me, Ishita Mitra. The tensions between India and Pakistan have gone beyond the boiling point now. The terror state continues to provoke India by trying to hit military installations and civilian areas around the country. And now there's ample evidence of all those steps taken by Islamabad that has been put in the public domain by New Delhi. Now in the latest developments, India targeted Pakistan's 6 air bases, and this was after Pakistan's attack on 26 locations across the LOC. So joining me now is Mr. Gurinder Singh Dhillon, former additional DGP Law and Order Punjab. He's been closely tracking all the developments on the story. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on India Today Global.
Thank you so much and good afternoon.
All right, sir. So a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. So let's walk our viewers through each of these developments and what do they mean. Now, starting with the big news that has just come in. The names of 5 terrorists that India took out in Operation Sindoor have been revealed. Let me tell our viewers about the names first. These are terrorists who were killed in, Murid Ke in Bahawalpur. So the names are Mudassar Khadian Khas. He's also known as Abu Jindal. He's a top Lashkar commander. And he's the one who was given a guard of honor by the Pakistan's army. You also have Hafiz Muhammad Jamil. He's the eldest brother-in-law of Masood Azhar. He was wanted in the ICH-14 hijacking case. Now, along with that, you also have Muhammad Yusuf, another brother-in-law of Masood Azhar, Khalid and Muhammad Hassan Khan. So, tell our viewers about these targets that were taken out by Indian Armed Forces. How significant were these killings in India's war against terror?
Ishita, we have been facing terrorism for more than 2 decades. Earlier in Punjab, proxy this thing, and later on, once Afghanistan left, Russia left Afghanistan.
Yes.
The focus was shifted to
Kashmir.
Jammu Kashmir.
Correct.
And we have lost not only defense forces, paramilitary forces, police forces, persons, we have lost hundreds of civilians. But I think Pahalgam incident is like the last battle, which Pakistan army leadership, a rogue nation, and a terrorist organization, I would call the leadership of the Pakistan army. I want to say that Indian Defense Forces successfully conducted Operation Sindoor in a very calibrated and precise manner. And that was directed only at the terrorist hideouts. And Indian forces were very sure that there is no collateral damage, and they did not target any of the Pakistan Army's installations.
Exactly.
Or even the Pakistan Army leadership.
True.
But every time more so Pakistan Army, and it is well known in the world, more so to India and the Indian 1.4 billion population of India, that Pakistan Army's leadership, along with ISI, they are the biggest terrorist organization.
Exactly.
They have been conducting themselves like gangsters and terrorists, but they were not exposed openly. They would their political leadership, who is like at the back end call of this army leadership of Pakistan, they would try to tell to the world we are also victim and all. Now, after this successful Operation Sindoor, and I want to congratulate, we feel proud that our Indian Defense Forces were able to do this in a very calibrated fashion.
Yes, very measured,
after that,
non-escalatory.
These terrorists, which you have named, I'm happy to know their names, that they have been killed. But there are more who deserve to be killed. But after the rightful killing of these terrorists, whom the Indian Army has named, you can imagine what happened.
Yes.
They were given guard of honor. They were honored like as if they are heroes of the army. Clearly, as a Punjabi, I know there are three popular words: Sangat, Rangat, and Pangat.
If you could just explain to our viewers, sir.
Sangat is the company. Pangat is living with them or conducting themselves
Okay.
with them. And Rangat is then acquiring their characters.
Okay.
So it is Sangat, Pangat, and Rangat. So you will find that since the Russia left Afghanistan, they were in company with these people and adopted they were in their Sangat and were sitting in the Pangat with them. And slowly it's not possible that they will not acquire their Rangat. So they have acquired characters of terrorists. If you go back in history, once before Kargil war, Musharraf, then army chief, he
Yes,
was
sir.
boasting that he went across the LOC and stayed at night in a tent, which was beyond the LOC. Now, no army chief of a civilized nation will do that.
Exactly.
That conduct, as a uniformed officer, I know, first thing is, what is the conduct of that officer? The army chief, Mr. Musharraf, thankfully he is now nowhere available. He behaved like a gangster and a terrorist. Now, after this operation, it would have been very nice if the army leadership of Pakistan had behaved and not reacted. Rather, they should have been thankful that probably I would name it. It may sound different, but I would have said that you should be happy that if you are saying that you are a terrorist victim, these 9 spots which we have eliminated, they were like nasurs of your body, and it is like a medical tourism which our defense forces are conduct. So you be happy or not.
Exactly.
But what they did, they reacted. But at the same time, our political leadership and our defense forces leadership, they have conducted themselves in a very measured manner, and all their reactions have been very balanced. The statements have been very wise, and it sounds that we are representatives of this 1.4 crore people are very wise. They are educated. They know what they are doing. So I am proud of every one of them. Now, coming to what is subsequently happening, we are all aware that now, out of their desperation, they are going beyond it.
Exactly. So I want to come to that, India hit Pakistan's air bases, 6 air bases. We have Rafiki, Murid, Chaklala, Rahim Yar Khan, Sukur and Chunia. So sir, from terror target camps to now moving to military installations in Pakistan, how do you see these developments and where are we headed now?
See, Shita, again, I'll come back to my Punjabi instincts. We in Punjabi call it कि सानू भाजी ला देनी चाहिए.
Okay.
That means we have to return what they send towards us in a best immediate possible manner.
Okay.
We conducted ourselves, Indian Defense Forces and Indian political leadership conducted itself in a very, very wise fashion. Although we are more powerful, economically they are on the bankruptcy. They got yesterday $1 billion from IMF.
Yes.
Though I feel that IMF should not have approved it, but whatever has happened in geopolitics, sometimes somebody will say that somebody was using it as a stick and carrot policy. Hell with it. But after attacking these 6 air bases and military installations in a very precise manner, I would say, okay, Mr. Army Chief of Pakistan, you the gangster, you were taking $1 billion. In a one raid, I have made you balance everything. So whatever you want to do, you go and do it. I am not dependent on anybody in the world. It is heights now. You started now attacking our civilian population, our religious places, like Shambhu Mandir was attacked.
Yes.
One Gurdwara was attacked. Then they attempted attack on civilian population ranging from Gujarat to Punjab to Jammu Kashmir. I mean, we are no more a nation. which is dependent upon anybody else. And I want to be very clear on this. Having 3 decades of police experience, you can't depend upon somebody else to fight a war. This is war to fight to finish. What we need to do is the mistake which we committed in October 1947 or after 1971 or after Kargil war or when Afghanistan was raided by Russia, Russia entered Afghanistan. They had very well told Indian establishment that please, now Pakistan army is concentrating on Afghan border, you take over your PAK. This is the golden opportunity which those terrorists and militants, whatever name they gave, they have given to us. We are in a state where we have no dearth. We don't have any short bottlenecks. And first time in the history of India, you will find political leaders across party lines, population across caste or religious divisions. Everyone, 99% of the population wants. Now, this is the final call. God has very aptly given you an opportunity. Let us not finally lose it. Go across POK, and the task left in October 1947 be completed. Now in May or June 2025, take POK, and the discrimination which was made by the British government when they left India towards Baloch people, they also need their right. They are good friends of ours. Afghan people are good friends of ours.
Yes.
Let us help. We have been helping civil society of Afghanistan. Now let us help the civil society of Balochistan. And as we facilitated making of Bangladesh, let us make Balochistan. The third point I want to make it, if
Yes,
somebody wants to attack Amritsar, somebody wants to attack Firozpur or any establishment in Punjab, these Punjabis are not fearful of anything. They have faced these things from generations, from history onwards. You Pakistani leadership, the rogue terrorist gangsters, we are not going to be afraid of it. And Ishita, I want to add, sorry, I'm getting very emotional over it.
No,
And
sir, it's
every Indian
absolutely justified.
Every Indian is. We are Punjab, Rajasthan, Jammu Kashmir, we are at the front end of the nation.
Yes.
We also need wholehearted support from the world, which is 1.4 billion population of India. Now I want to tell these guys, we have supported the defense forces every time if there was any crisis on Punjab borders. But fortunately, the new paradigm which has shifted during this war, it is that the air defense system, which successfully Indian armed forces has established and displayed its prowess, people of border areas, I talked in Amritsar, Gurdaspur, Pathankot, Firozpur, Fazilka. They are so happy about it. They are proud of it that Indian defense forces are taking a very calculated, and all the air articles, whether they are drones or missiles or fighter jets, they are being neutralized in a very, very professional manner. We shall continue it. But at the same time, for any misadventure on part of Pakistan, we shall give more than a befitting reply. If they are attacking us time X, we shall do it 10X, so that they are brutalized in a way that they have the sleepless nights and Pakistan is put to chaos. That is what our target should be, our objective should be, so that these buggers sitting in the western border of India, they don't have future to again threaten us or kill innocent people of India.
Clearly, sir, and the whole of India, stands with the border states, stands with the armed forces who are battling at the front lines. So, just a while ago, there was a briefing from the Foreign Secretary in which it was mentioned that Pakistan's military was moving troops toward forward areas. Now, we've not seen something like this since 1971. So, I want to ask you, as a defense expert, do you think we're headed towards a full-scale war? Because statements, on similar lines were also made by Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif in an interview.
I see, Ishita, there are 2 points.
Okay.
Number one is that guy who is being called the defense minister, does he have the confidence of his army chief?
There's a lot of question mark there.
Is there any communication between the two? There is total disconnect between the thought process of army, political leadership, and the masses of Pakistan. The way Punjabis of Muslim Punjabis of Western Punjab are dominating in army, in bureaucracy, in political field. The other parts of the society, whether they are Sindhis, whether they are Baloch, whether they are Pashtuns or whosoever, they just want that we are not. The few days back in the same parliament, one of the opposition parliamentarians, he was saying, be clear, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, that Awam is not with you.
Yes.
Who else can tell more frankly than one of the parliamentarians who remains connected to the public? Otherwise, they will not get elected. Clearly, across the border on this side, on our side, our 1.4 crore population is behind defense forces. Defense forces and political leadership is on one page. We are conducting in a very wise and mature manner and in a very professional approach. So
Yes.
there is no, otherwise, we don't have any supply chain issues. We don't have any monetary issues. We don't have any mobility issues. We are freely moving in our nation. Then we have a very robust now air defense mechanism. So what are we afraid of? If a friend of mine tells me that Mr. Gurinder, no, I'm not going to support you, I will tell, go, if you don't want to support me, calm yourself down. I am powerful enough to at least brutalize this enemy so that he's finished forever. We shall not be afraid. In one of my articles, I had mentioned Darshani Pahalwan. When there used to be akhadas, there used to be some Darshani Pahalwans who will move in the stage to attract the attention of the people. They will clap, but they will not participate. Or if they will participate, they will be defeated badly. Whichever misadventure Pakistan army is putting their awam into danger. Rather, I am sure the way BLA and Balochis are rebelling, similarly, non-Punjabis or even Punjabis, can you imagine that more than 70 years they have been independent?
Yes.
They have never had a civilized government.
True. It's always the army that is calling shots in the country.
So please.
All right, sir. So you've mentioned a very good point here that there is a visible disconnect between the masses in Pakistan, between the government and between the army, and therefore it is the army that's in control. Now I want to ask you, given that you understand how the military establishment in Pakistan works, how are they likely to react now, given the air bases were attacked by Indian forces?
See, there are 2 points in it.
Okay.
One is that how they are going to react, and it is my perception. But having experience of internal security, I just want to say, whichever way they react, I should have an inputs which way they are going to react. But I shall prepare myself in a way that if they react, they indulge in some misadventure, they will have a bloody nose. I am very sure the 3 army chiefs of Air Force, Navy, and Army,
Yes.
and the CDS,
Yes.
and the defense minister and the prime minister and the intelligence and counterintelligence chiefs, internal and external, they are on the same page because they know what happened in Pahalgam. In one of the articles of mine, sorry, Ishta, I am repeating, in one of my articles which
Yes, sir.
traveled all over the world, I had written, let Pahalgam be Chappad Chidi and let second Banda Bahadur arise so that these army chief and the ISI chief and their cohorts,
Yes.
once they surrender, they be brought to Pahalgam. And as Banda Bahadur did with Wazir Khan and his cohorts, we shall conduct ourselves like that Banda Bahadur and make another example as Pahalgam, the second Chappar.
So clearly, Indian Army is fully prepared for any kind of misadventure that could come from the other side.
So we need to, I fully appreciate, understand, and we have full faith in Indian Defense Forces and the leadership. Now, cutting across party lines, everyone has supported.
Exactly.
There is no way this government has not no bottleneck. Now you started this conversation with the dialogue on the terrorist.
Yes.
Why earlier we were worried about border. Earlier we were worried about going across the first task should be, besides destroying, reacting, giving a befitting reply to the Pakistani terrorist organization called Pakistan Army, we shall make sure that these 14, 15 names which Government of India has released again, out of them many we have been listening, whether it is Hafiz Saeed or Masood Azhar. First task should be a specific unit shall be assigned a task that your duty is only to target these 14 people so that they are killed, whichever way, use any method, deception, any method, and eliminate these and all infrastructure related to terrorist organizations in Pakistan, including the terrorist organization, which I'm openly calling to be the army leadership. I am not saying the whole army of Pakistan.
Yes.
At the bottom of the pyramid, the Jawans and the lower Subedars and all, I don't know. I feel they do their disciplined job. But the leadership of the army and ISI, and if political leadership is supporting them, they should be sent to holes like America did in Iraq, and then bring them out and take them to Chaparchiri. That is what we need to do. Otherwise, our coming generations for another hundreds of years will have to face the consequences. I would request the present government, please prepare yourself. Please take your time. Have a very reasoned, seasoned, and professional approach. We don't have a problem in waiting, but now let it be a final call and do something which whole Indians, every Indian is praying, preaching, and wanting you to do.
Clearly, sir, you've mentioned a very important point that the artificial line that existed between terrorists and the leadership of Pakistan's army has now been blurred. The army has been exposed. I want to ask you, the kind of escalations we are seeing right now from Pakistan, if you could go ahead and explain to our viewers, are these steps being taken as a part of a calculated strategy, or are these steps being taken in haste and panic? And I ask this because you've already mentioned that you have the problem of TTP along the western border, you have the problem of Balochistan crisis, and you also have the problem in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So clearly, the condition of army is at stake here.
Ishita, I would just like to add again, okay, if I have to hit somebody,
yes,
I will keep inputs about the weak points. If opponent of mine is having a pain his leg, I'll first hit at the leg. But I want to add, this is again, I am not part of the strategy maker. But having read about military history and military warfare, I don't have a hesitation in pinpointing. I'm not afraid of it. If I was the part of the present setup of the military establishment, which we have very professional, powerful, very well trained, motivated, and having a full political support, I would have just asked my forces, please obliterate Punjab, Western Punjab in Pakistan, hit best of their installations, best of their military stations, best of their military equipment establishments, their ammunitions. And if they are attacking our public, they are trying to kill our civil society, then please go ahead. Attack their civil structure. If not the civilians at first point, their civil structure in a way that their administration is immobilized. Don't bother about Sindhis, don't bother about Baloch. They are not enemies of India. The enemy is the dominant Punjabi, Western Punjabi Muslims in Pakistan army and Punjab itself. Once this Punjab's leadership gets demoralized, you will find they will have no way they can either send a terrorist or fight India. Their defense minister in their parliament admitted that we know Indian army is very powerful.
Yes.
We know India is very powerful. Then what are we waiting for? Man, why don't you say, I put my hands up and I go to Saudi Arabia and tell your prime minister why he's getting trapped into the militant head of your army. Why not you leave him and tell him we are off? You want to die? You want to put Pakistan into chaos? You put it. This should be the response. If I was in the army, typical Punjabi coming from a Republican family of Majha area, I would have acted like this.
All right, sir, you've clearly defined the targets that India should hit next. My last question to you is, because you've explained to us how the tensions have been building up, and clearly India and Pakistan are right now on an escalatory ladder. So what the next 24 hours would look like according to you? Are we going to see similar kind of attacks that we're seeing in the past 2 days, or are we going to see something bigger from both the sides now?
I'm very sure if Pakistan will carry on its misadventure,
yes,
they will be responded in a very, very excellent fashion. And as we have done the previous morning, this morning, I am sure they will face more brutal reaction than what we did today morning. I do expect this because we have full faith in our three chiefs of our three wings of the defense forces, the CDS, the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and we support government. We support the government, and I want to give a very clear message.
Yes.
I have contacts in all over Punjab. Okay, you take my name as police officer. Every police officer is known in the state. Anybody who has talked, for example, I have talked to my relatives in Gurdaspur and Amritsar area who are just 10 to 11 kilometers from border.
Yes.
They say, we are very happy that Army's defense mechanism is working perfectly. If this confidence don't want to lose, we need to retaliate in a befitting manner. We don't need to go overboard, but please wait for their actions so that tomorrow we are able to tell the world we reacted on their actions, and our reactions were brutal, forceful, professional, wise, and it was for the defense of the 1.4 crore population of the society or Indian population.
Clearly,
but before I go,
yes, sir.
Ishita, before I go, I would take an opportunity, if you allow me,
yes,
and
sir.
I will give few points for the civilian population of Punjab.
Yes, sir, sure. That's very important for us also.
Because it is very important that we follow these civil defense protocols.
Yes.
For example, those who are very close to the border, within the 20-30 kilometers range of the border, all the family members need to be advised by local administration, families by local administration, or defense forces or security forces or paramilitary forces. They should have sandbags, bunkers, and covered bunkers, so that no debris or splinter items fall and destroy their cause casualties or casualties or fatalities to the family members. Because we have defended the attack, we have very good aerial defense, we have shown our very good offense. But the most motivating part will be that if defense forces, paramilitary forces, a police person is injured, they are taken care by the government. But when civil societies, there are casualties and fatalities, the whole families fall into that fear and
True.
fear. So what we need to do is we need to tell them. Secondly, I want to advise, out of my experience, whenever you find there is a debris of a fallen fighter jet or a debris of drone or missile or non executed operationalized missile, please don't go near to that. Wait for, just call 112 or call 100 or whichever emergency number you have, or the local police. Let local police handle it professionally so that you are not damaged because of your overindulgence.
Yes, that's a very important point.
This happens. And third point is, wherever there are religious places, since Pakistan is attacking religious places,
yes,
I just want to, out of my experience of military studies and my police experience of internal security, I just want to add a third point. Please tell the people, convey them, wherever there are vital installations or vulnerable points. For example, vital installation, defense installations, public installations, government installations, and then vulnerable points like bridges, railway bridges, dams, other structures. If there are, I have seen there are many religious places near to vital installations and vulnerable points. Please don't go there. Obey the air radar alert system. Follow the blackout. And last fourth point is, please don't make large gathering even after the attack, because even if you follow a blackout, these days you are carrying mobile devices with you.
Yes.
Those mobile devices are visible to the world through GPS and internet, even if you're bodily not visible to the enemy. And if you are gathering at one place, you will find that through GPS, the enemy, if that country has the facility, they can identify and attack you and cause a civilian damage. Please avoid this. I am thankful to the BCCI and the government that they suspended IPL and may have saved many lives.
Clearly. So those are very crucial points that you've mentioned, and I do request people living in the border states to follow all of these steps for their safety. And of course, they are in our thoughts and prayers. So thank you so much, Mr. Dhillon, for speaking to us on the India-Pak tensions. As of now, the ball is in the Pakistan Army's court. If they decide to escalate, India will not sit back. It will hit back, and the response will be tenfold. So thank you so much, Mr. Dhillon, for joining us. And viewers, stay tuned to India Today Global.
Thank you, Ishita, for having me.
Thank you so much.
So nice. If I can be of any assistance for the nation, for the service of the public, I am available.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And viewers, stay tuned to...
Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. And viewers, stay tuned to India Today Global.